Welcome to Potential with Purpose. I am Isaac 17,
I'm in Ryu.
This is Ibaka.
and today we're going to talk about aliens. Who wants to go first?
We go hard on Earth.
All right, I
So,
guess I'll start.
no, I was gonna say the probability of aliens existing or the possibility that they don't exist is like astronomically low considering how massive the universe is. So they have to exist in some form or fashion somewhere out there.
Bro, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, didn't we already find life in the form of like bacteria and stuff on like Mars?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Then also one thing we don't think about is like the only kind of life we think of is the life that we know. That's all carbon based. There could be other forms like bases of life or things that could thrive in other environments that don't match the same kind of environment that Earth has.
yup.
And so we just have like this massive assumption that things would be the same as Earth based.
And then that's not even getting into, like antimatter and all that, but that's another conversation for another day.
Hey yo, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I think you'd be a damn fool to assume that in all of these different dimensions and universes, as massive as the universe itself is, like to think that we are the only beings here, I think that's ridiculous. I absolutely believe in aliens, and not even not you can call them aliens, you can call them demons, you can call them whatever you want, but there's no way scientifically I'm going to believe that we're just the only things here. You know what I'm saying? Like there has to be more.
That is very true. Like there's no way that like just think about the vastness of the universe and how small of a speck of a planet we're on. It is, I would say, flat out almost impossible for us to be the only existing sentient life on the planet.
Our sun is but one star. There are many like it.
And there's billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of stars.
So, of all the odds, more than likely there is at least one environment similar enough to Mother Earth in which life can thrive.
Facts. I think it's kind of crazy the fact that like there's just so much like how the vastness of space in and of itself is just it just blows my mind.
I agree, man. Like, we're really just specks in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, that's why I don't let my depression get me down.
I also think it's kind of crazy how insignificant we can be on the grand scale of things. Just looking at it,
And then there's time, man. Like, you also have time as a factor. Like, the Earth's been around for millions of years.
billions of years, and the average human life is 74 or something like that. I
And
was
that's
I was giving
now.
70.
Like, people used to live way
I was giving
shorter.
74.
People used to live way shorter back in the day, like to 40.
Well, that's kind of an odd statement. I would say like 40 older. The reason like 40 was like the life expectancy was due to the fact that you had like a lot of infant like high infant mortality. That's why you'd have women having like 8 or 9 kids because only three of them would probably make it to adulthood.
True.
That's why that's why like women would start having kids at like 14 and keep having kids because you'd have a bunch of kids die, go to war, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of how that goes.
I mean, when you think about the word alien, I feel like as part of American culture, we instantly think about the little white dudes with the big heads and the black eyes. But I would imagine that actual aliens look exactly like us. Like I have a thought that we as Americans, again, we like a good story, we like a good look. You know what I'm saying? But I would bet any amount of money they look exactly like us. You think about somewhere like Area 51, which may or may not exist according to some people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's still like up for debate. They have actual videos and actual pictures of aliens and spaceships, but it's still not confirmed. And when you have a place like that, even the fact that it may exist, the fact that people talk about it, where does that start? Where does that come from? Where did we get the idea for a flying saucer? Who came up with that? I don't think that's something somebody just imagines. I'm a big time conspiracy theorist, but it all right. It all has to it all has to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And they always talk like, the Earth hasn't been invited into the intergalactic nation because it's too stupid. And I'm like, bro, that's I don't think so. I think that I think that we've been spared. I think that we've been very fortunate, but I absolutely believe that there are other planets with dangerous beings there and friendly beings. But aliens are absolutely real. I'd love to meet one just to talk to them. Not for a probe, but just to have a conversation.
Have y'all like this kind of goes into like some like Planet X or whatever kind of conspiracy, but like the thought that like humans are actually the aliens on the planet. Because if you look at like how all the other life on the planet functions, we are the anomalies. Like no other what other creatures can get sunburned? I mean, if the life evolved on the planet the way it says it does, it shouldn't be possible for a human being to get burned by the sun it evolved under. You know what I mean?
That makes
Like
sense. I understand
then
what you're saying. Yeah.
then there's a lot of other like odd things like the way human birth works and how no other species really has like the same kind of issues. Then also like the long gestation period for humans. Then also the length it takes for a human to mature. What other species like no other species on this planet that I can think of is completely useless upon birth. Well, very few are, and they can kind of quickly adapt and like mature to the point where they can be a functioning member of the species. A human isn't really viable until they're like 14. Like no, I think like what other kind of like any other like animal or creature can like be born and has to wait 14 years before they're even capable of doing anything of merit. Because like a horse is born and within an hour it can run. Humans can't walk until they're like a year or close to. They don't start speaking until like a little bit later on. And it's like weird things like that kind of like, that's a little weird. Then the fact that very few other animals have like back issues the way we do. Bone density is different. Even if you look at like the other primates, the differences are massive. It kind of goes into like one of the conspiracies that like humans were like genetically engineered by another species. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting thought theory, interesting thought project process, whatever you want to call it, thought experiment.
Yeah, like it is very interesting. It's something to chew on. I would say we do take a very long time to reach our maturation process. Like puberty isn't at the earliest. Puberty is like 10, 11 years. That's when all the hormones kick in that actually change us from what would be considered a youth to physically an adult. There are animals like sea turtles that live to be over 100, 150. They reach adulthood before we do.
Yeah. Like just think about the fact that like when they hatch, they know exactly what to do and how to do it. They go right into the ocean and they can start swimming, eating, doing all the kind of stuff they do. Just living turtle lives.
But we are not the only species though that has like the parents have to like kind of show it how to do things.
That's true, because like dogs and cats, like when cats and dogs are born, like they're useless for probably like the first, or they're I'd say useless, I'd say helpless for like the first 2 months of their lives.
Yeah,
and like that's understandable and like somewhat manageable. But like there's others where I'm just like that just doesn't even make sense how it takes so long. What are your thoughts on that, Ibaka? Humans being a genetic experiment and planted. It's like there's like a lot of things that kind of go into it if you start doing like a little more research and like thinking about it. It's like an interesting thought experiment. You're just like, all right, a lot of things just kind of like a little interesting.
Hey man,
things don't add up.
Hey man, you know me. This could all be a computer simulation. You both probably don't exist. I probably don't exist. We may just be numbers and digits, and nothing really matters. But what do I think about it? I think it's an absolute possibility that this is all just one sick, twisted game created by some genetically modified monster who created other genetically modified monsters, i.e. aliens. Why not, man? I keep my mind open to every and all kinds of possibilities. You know what I'm saying? And I go back to the Roswell, the Area 51, what happened in Arizona, all of these things that people say they saw. And because we don't understand it, we call them crazy. You know, that's really a word that I'm learning to eliminate from my vocabulary. Because why is it so crazy? What makes it crazy besides your lack of understanding for it? Because you don't understand it, it's crazy. No, it's not crazy. Listen to what these people are saying, man. So what do I think about that? I think it's an absolute possibility. You know what I'm saying? Some stuff is made up, absolutely. People have creative imaginations. But there are things that people see, and there's no rational explanation for it. It's just like people that claim they were visited, you know, that they were visited by aliens and they were taken up on ships, and they can give you exact details of what happened to them on those ships, what they saw, what they heard, what happened to them. And and you know, we don't believe it because it's crazy. I'm gonna tell you something, brothers. I believe it. It's an absolute possibility. Anything is possible. Never close your mind to anything. You just don't know.